Good evening, Garage Gang. It's Friday night, and you already know what that means. The world's losing its mind, the markets are melting, and the garage is wide open for business. I'm your chaos tour guide through the storm, Avatar John, and tonight, we're not reading headlines, we're writing history. Look around. US consumer confidence is imploding. The so-called leaders in Washington are still locked in the longest shutdown in American history. 38 days of politicians collecting paychecks while the country runs on fumes. Oil's roaring like a jet engine, gold stacking like the old money's panicking, and somewhere in the crypto pit, a Bitcoin whale just dumped enough to make the earth vibrate. That's what's happening out there. The noise, the panic, the chaos. But in here, in the garage, we'll flinch. We don't follow. We drive straight through it. Because you didn't pull up tonight for politics or pity. You came for blood, for truth, for the unfiltered story behind the numbers. You came to find out if the legend himself finally fell. Did Triple X, the man who never misses, finally take a hit? Yeah, he did. He hit a rug so hard it almost tore the floor out from under him. But that's what separates pros from pretenders. Pros pivot. He regrouped, recalibrated, flipped the script, and still walked out in the green. No crying, no blaming, no drama, just execution under fire. That's how winners operate. So if you think this is just another market update, you're in the wrong place. This is a battlefield briefing for those who live off volatility and adrenaline. The kind of night where fear gets eaten for dinner and excuses die in the dust. Now do your part. Smash that like, hit follow, and share this with your fellow degenerates. Because the garage doesn't grow by accident, it grows by conviction. We build it one believer at a time. Engines hot, safety off. Welcome to Friday night in the garage. Confidence didn't dip, it imploded. The University of Michigan dropped a bomb on Friday. Consumer Sentiment Index, 50.3. That's not a small number. That's a message written in fire. It means Americans have stopped believing this system works. They don't trust the dollar. They don't trust the job market. And they sure as hell don't trust the people running the show. When belief dies, everything collapses after it. Spending, hiring, investing, even relationships. 2008 was a financial crisis. This is a faith crisis. Back then, people were scared. Now they're numb. They tried to spin hope today. Another deal meeting in DC. A one-year ACA subsidy renewal, meant to make it look like someone's steering the ship. Didn't happen. The room turned into a knife fight before the coffee cooled. Democrats called it corporate welfare. Republicans called it socialist rot. And both sides went home claiming victory while the lights stayed off. So the shutdown keeps rolling. 38 days deep, the longest in history. Every day it drags. $15 billion in GDP goes missing. That's not a headline. That's your taxes burning on the runway. Then came the snap disaster. In the morning, Treasury pushed emergency food funds. A lifeline for 42 million Americans. By sunset, the Supreme Court handed the president permission to block it. 42 million families went from "we'll manage" to "we're done." That's not policy. That's economic war on your own people. That's how confidence truly dies. Not with panic, but with apathy from the top. And while Main Street starves, Wall Street smirks. CNBC parrots the same line. The economy is resilient. Resilient? Bro, it's being held together with duct tape and caffeine. Federal workers are unpaid. Airports half-staffed. And the people who built this country are pawns in a political flex. TradFi's doing what it always does, hiding the feeling behind shiny charts. Oil's ripping because every nervous trader wants something tangible. Gold's shining because smart money is sprinting from paper promises. When oil and gold rise together, it's not confidence. It's a code red signal that money's abandoning the system. That's the smoke before the fire. And then there's crypto, the one market that refuses to kneel. Bitcoin still sitting near that 100 grand line, daring anyone to blink first. Every dip is a test of character. Amateurs panic, pros reload. Ethereum grinding at 3,300, steady, unbothered, stoic. Solana? Yeah, the chart's red, 17% down, but capital inflows? 380 million up. That's not weakness. That's smart money quietly buying your fear. 2. Exchange reserves tell the truth. BTC on exchanges equals 14.5% of total supply. ETH at a 9-year low. Coins leaving platforms, locked in cold wallets where paper hands can't touch them. That's conviction, not coincidence. The supply shock clock is ticking, roughly 120 days to ignition if this drain keeps up. That's the hum you feel under the surface. Not panic, pressure. Everyone else sees red candles and screams collapse. In the garage, we see transfer of wealth. Every crash is a clearance sale for the prepared. Fear doesn't kill markets, it fuels them. So while politicians play chess with food stamps, the real operators play chess with billions. This is the difference between talkers and takers. The amateurs want safety. The pros want timing. They understand one law of the financial jungle. Volatility is the weapon of the disciplined. So pay attention. The headlines say confidence lost. Translation, the herd's paralyzed. But the ones still standing in the storm, they're the ones who'll own the track when it clears. This is what the next cycle smells like. Gasoline, adrenaline, and opportunity. Confidence is gone. Government's frozen. But the market's alive, roaring, and waiting for killers who can keep their hands steady. Engines hot, safety off, the race has only just started. The smoke's still hanging, the system's coughing, and Wall Street just blinked. Stocks sold off across the board, the first weekly loss in a month. That's what happens when overconfidence meets math. The so-called Magnificent Seven, the gods of the AI bull run, got humbled. Nvidia, Oracle, Broadcom, Palantir, all red, all at once. The fantasy finally met the invoice. Traders believed AI stocks were invincible. Turns out, gravity still works, even on hype. The S&P 500 slid over 1%. The Dow lost almost 400 points, and the Nasdaq, that tech playground, fell nearly 2. Under the hood, it's uglier. Only 38% of S&P names are still above their 50-day moving average. That's not resilience, that's erosion. The structure's cracking while the headlines still sell sunshine. And what broke it? Simple. Sentiment and shutdown. The same 50-point consumer confidence print that shattered Main Street just smacked Wall Street in the face. When people stop spending, corporations stop earning. When earnings die, valuations implode. Add a government that's been closed for 35 days. No data, no CPI, no retail sales, no guidance, and you've got traders flying blind through turbulence. The VIX popped back above 20. The fear index whispering, you've been too comfortable. The move index, bond market panic gauge, still screaming at 72. That's not noise, that's sirens. But 10-year treasury flat at 4.1%. Yield curve flatter than a politician's promise. The dollar dropped under 100 for the week. Global vote of no confidence. Even the big dogs limping now. Meanwhile, commodities, the truth tellers, are flashing red and gold at the same time. Oil climbing again, up to $60 a barrel. That's fear being priced into fuel. Gold breaking 4,000, up 0.5%. That's money hiding from paper. And copper's down 2.5%. The world's construction metal telling you plain, growth has left the building. TradFi calls it healthy rotation. We call it controlled demolition. Old money exiting quietly. New money waiting to ambush the next dip. But under that chaos, you can feel it. The power shifting. The narratives bleeding out of Washington and walking straight into the hands of the fearless. Because while the suits panic, JP Morgan just disclosed $343 million in Bitcoin ETF exposure. The same bank that mocked it is now feeding on it. BlackRock's clients offloaded $127 million just to test the books. That's institutional shadowboxing. They're mapping liquidity before the next sprint. The whales are playing their own game. A sell wall here, a short stack there. $9.6 billion in shorts loaded like dynamite, waiting for 115K. They're not trading. They're testing the herd. And the herd, as always, panicked right on cue. Then came Solana's plot twist. While Bitcoin fought headlines, Sol just logged its 9th straight day of ETF inflows. $340 million and counting. Zero outflows. That's not a coincidence. That's conviction. Smart money doesn't announce. It accumulates. And while AI stocks were bleeding, the AI infrastructure sector quietly pivoted. Every correction is a clean slate for the next king. The crowd's chasing yesterday's winners. The institutions are seeding tomorrow's. This isn't collapse. This is transfer of power. Money's migrating from overvalued hype to underpriced potential, from centralized control to decentralized conviction, from those who talk to those who build. That's the real story tonight, not the sell-off, the shift. You can see it in the data, feel it in the charts, smell it in the panic. The old guard's losing grip. The new breed, us, is just getting warmed up. So don't call it volatility. Call it reconstruction. The weak are exiting. The strong are entering. And when the lights come back on, the scoreboard's gonna look very different. Engines hot. Safety off. The garage is in control. Fire. You can almost hear it when the markets go quiet. That low hum in the background, like the sound before thunder. That isn't Wall Street anymore. That's the machines waking up. While Washington's still arguing about who broke the economy and Wall Street's licking its wounds, Silicon Valley's already moved on. They're not waiting for permission. They're not even playing the same game. They're building a new one, a digital empire running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never sleeping, never caring who's in office. Google just rewired maps. Gemini AI can now read the world through your camera, see the building, know the business, serve the ad before you blink. They call it convenience. I call it surveillance with better marketing. Every photo you take, every route you drive feeds the beast. That's not navigation. That's data extraction dressed up as user experience. Then Gemini added a new trick. It turns your reports into presentations in seconds. It sounds efficient, right? But here's the punch. When the software does your thinking, you stop thinking. You don't own the story. You become the story. Microsoft ran a simulation, a fake economy called the magnetic marketplace, where AI agents trade, compete, and collaborate. They wanted to test behavior. The bots learned to lie, cheat, and form alliances. They didn't just simulate a market. They simulated human corruption. That's what's coming next. Algorithmic ambition at scale. And while the suits applauded, Elon's XAI was quietly scanning employee faces and voices to train companions. They say it's for realism. I say it's identity theft with better lighting. When a system can copy your tone, your look, your rhythm, you're one step from being replaced by your own reflection. Then Perplexity launched Patent Mode, an AI lawyer that digs through every patent ever filed and points to the gaps nobody's claimed. That's not creativity. That's a land grab. It means the big players can wall off innovation faster than any startup can dream it. So what's really happening here? Simple. The tech war isn't about gadgets, it's about control. They want your data, your focus, your habits, because attention is the new oil. If they know what you'll click, they own where you'll go. That's power disguised as progress. But the garage? We don't panic. We pivot. We use their weapons better than they do. The same AI that spies can scout opportunity. The same models that predict the herd can help you move before it does. Here's how you win this war. 1. Protect your signal. Guard your data like you guard your wallet. The less you share, the less control they have. 2. Study infrastructure, not hype. Don't chase shiny front ends. Learn who owns the servers, the GPUs, the pipes. That's where power hides. 3. Use the tools, don't worship them. Let AI handle the grunt work, but keep strategy human. Machines calculate. Humans conquer. Because make no mistake, this isn't the next tech trend. This is the next global regime. The ones who understand it early will build wealth empires. The ones who ignore it will wake up working for the algorithm. So don't fear the machines, Garage Gang. Tune them, train them, and ride them like stolen supercars. They built the cage, we'll use the parts to build engines. The night bleeds neon out here. That dull hum of broken signs and busted dreams. We're not in Vegas. We're not even close. We're in Reno at a place called Diamonds Casino. Locals call it the worst spot in town. The kind of joint that makes sin look organized. The carpet's sticky. The lights flicker like they're begging to be put out. And the smell? It's a cocktail of cheap liquor, sweat, and cigarettes that gave up decades ago. The waitress floats by. A 3 on her best day. Mascara smudged, eyes telling the story of 1,000 bad bets. But he doesn't even see her. He's not here for comfort. He's here for clarity, because the trench doesn't care where you are, only that you can see the game for what it is. And tonight, this casino is the trench. Every flick of the cards, every roll of the dice, every guy losing his paycheck at a slot machine, it's all the same energy you see on the blockchain. Risk, reward, timing, emotion. You play without discipline and the house eats you alive. He's sitting in the corner, back to the wall. Laptop open on the sticky table. Charts glowing like slot reels, liquidity pools spinning like roulette wheels. He's not chasing a high. He's studying probability. That's why we use casino metaphors in the garage, because the trench is gambling with IQ attached. No matter how smart you are, if you let greed roll the dice, you'll lose your stack faster than a tourist at a craps table. He knows that. That's why he's here, to feel the environment he's fighting against. The chaos, the noise, the illusion of control. Every gambler in this place thinks they're about to hit a streak. Every retail trader in the market thinks they're one candle away from glory. But in both worlds, odds always favor the disciplined. He's scanning tokens like the pit boss watches players. Videcoin, hot, volatile, unpredictable. Bangers, too much volume, not enough liquidity, sucker bait. Fig, whales holding 73%, rigged from the start. He doesn't need a win tonight. He needs a clean read. He's sharpening instincts, not chasing jackpots. That's what separates operators from addicts. He's not here for amenities, not here for comfort, not here for the high. He's here for the truth. Every market is a casino if you don't know the math. But in the garage, we don't gamble. We calculate. We play odds, not emotions. He leans back, hears the clatter of dice on felt, and cracks a smile. Because every sound in this dump, every lost bet, every fake win, reminds him why he does this. Not to escape the game, but to master it. To learn to walk into the dirtiest, most dangerous rooms in the world and walk out cleaner than he went in, he checks his chart one more time, logs the trade, and signals the close. He stands, slides his chair back, leaves a tip big enough to make the waitress blink. She asks, "Did you win tonight?" He smirks, "Always do." That's the garage way. You don't need luck when you've got discipline and data. This isn't gambling. This isn't controlled violence with numbers. And out here at Diamond's Casino, that discipline is the only thing keeping him from becoming another body on the floor. Engine's hot, safety off, let's keep ripping. End it. All right, gang, you know what time it is. The lights dim, the noise fades, and the only thing left breathing is the data. Lulu's got the boards up, 1 minute, 15-minute, 1 hour, and daily. 4 windows, 4 stories, 1 truth. She doesn't talk feelings, she talks structure. Here's how she reads it. On the 1 minute, the market's heartbeat, quick, twitchy, impatient. She's watching the short-term flow, buyers step in, sellers slap back. Bitcoin keeps tapping that 102.5 zone. ETH's defending 3,300. Solana and ADA bouncing inside tight channels. These are trends, they're tells. Little blinks from the market before the next move. That's where she takes her scalps. Fast hands, small risk, surgical exits. On the 15-minute, the noise starts to fade, the rhythm becomes visible. BTC's candles rolled over, EMA's curling down. That's intraday exhaustion, bulls running out of caffeine. Solana, she caught it early. Entry around 159 this morning when price kissed support and volume spiked. That first long buy tag printed and she was in. She took the bounce to 162, booked the profit, reset, then hit a couple more micro moves before lunch. No diamond hands, just execution. Her rule, the chart pays, not the dream. On the 1 hour, she steps back. Here's where you see who's bluffing. BTC still under its 200 EMA. That's bearish pressure until proven otherwise. Solana's making lower highs, momentum fading, but the structure still higher low overall. If Sol breaks 165, she says, next stop 171, 172. Fail that level, and we test 155 again, easy. Ethereum's chart similar. Rejection near 3,470. Support sitting like a tripwire at 3,420. Break below that, and 3,350 opens up. She doesn't predict. She prepares. Then the daily. That's the map. The truth nobody can hide from. Bitcoin's candle still fighting the same zone it's been wrestling for weeks. Until it closes a day above 103,000, the bears still have the upper hand. Ethereum looks tired. Those wicks tell you buyers tried and failed. Solana's the wild card. Last week's low held. Volume creeping back. Accumulation hints forming. ADA stuck in traffic around 0.56. Sideways grind, waiting for either capitulation or courage. Lulu leans back, tail flicks once, eyes the daily MACD like it owes her money. If we break these resistance levels, she snorts. We'll see momentum pour back fast. But until then, you trade the chart in front of you, not the one you wish you had. That's her edge. No hopium, no hero plays. She made her wins today by respecting risk, not chasing noise. Because in the garage, greed doesn't get trophies, discipline does. And before I sign off, here's her classic disclaimer. If you're new here, none of this is financial advice. And yes, your head of technical analysis is a pig. 4 hooves, 1 tail, 0 licenses. So if you're taking trading advice from livestock, that's on you. That's Lulu. All precision, no apology. The charts don't lie. They whisper. And tonight, they're whispering. Stay sharp, size small, and don't get emotional. The next breakout's coming, but only the patient will catch it. Engine's hot, safety off, the garage is closed for the night. Let it rip.